Hi, I'm Tasha Lorenzo, and I'm going to show you all Skill Set 1. Skill Set 1 is wiping down your OR. So there are 3 different types of wipe down techniques. The first one is called the damp dusting. So at the beginning of every day, the surgical tech comes into the room and wipes down every surface to clean off any residual dust that may have resided on the furniture overnight after what's called a terminal clean. A terminal clean is at the end of every surgical day, where the walls, the ceilings are wiped down, the surgical bed is raised all the way up as high as it can, the post is wiped, the floor is saturated with the chemical to clean it and buffed out. What I'm going to show you today for Skill Set 1 is called a turnover clean. This will be done multiple times a day. It's after every surgery, and the purpose of this is to clean and prevent any kind of infections that may carry on to the next surgical case. Now, most hospitals require a 15-minute turnover, and that time starts when the wheels go out, meaning the stretcher goes out of the room and the wheels come back in. There has to be a 15-minute turnover. So that includes opening supplies, things like that. For this skill set, I'm going to go really slow, but as you get more comfortable with this skill set, you should speed up the process. Now, because we're limited on our personal protective equipment, or PPE, I don't have everything on, but I do have a bouffant on and my exam gloves and a rag. When you are in the hospitals, they will have different techniques of wipe down. They may have a bucket with the solution already made or a disposable wipe, but for this skill set, we're going to use this. Your first step is to wet this. Have your gloves on, have eye protection on as well. Eyeglasses are not proper eye protection. You have to put on the personal protective equipment that we all provide for you. So you're just going to get a blue OR towel wet, and what you're going to do is you're going to fold it once like this, once, and another time, so that you create a surface that's about the size of your palm. So when you clean your OR, you need to start from the ceiling and work your way down, outside in motions. So I'm going to perform that right now. For those of you who need a step, please get one. If you're in the OR, they're underneath the surgical sinks. So you're going to start outside in, and then push it up when it's done. And every time you switch, so this is the side I worked on, you want to flip it to a new side of the rag. So I use this side and this side of the rag. Now I'm going to open up my rag. These are the 2 dirty sides. I'm going to close it. Now I have 2 more surfaces. Now it's time to clean the OR table. So I wipe the entire top surface. I'm going to do the arm boards now and rotate those out. Make sure I'm getting each side of the bed, and I'm still using the same side of the rag. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip these and wipe the underside of the pad. Outside, in, outside. Notice that I hit the rail as well, the rail of the table. Place it back down. Now I'm going to get the head pad, and I'm using the same side of the rag. Now since I wiped the tops of these arm boards, I'm going to now wipe the underside. Now I'm going to go to the other side. The whole purpose of using this type of technique is that you wipe once, you do not wipe over and over, because you don't want to take the dirty rag over a clean area, and all of the equipment will be ready to use right away. Okay, now I got the top. Now I'm going to move to the sides and hit any piece of equipment that I come across. So for this side, I have the controller, which needs to be wiped as well. And as I move down the bed, one important thing that you have to remember is that the floor is always dirty. So you never want to put your knee or your scrub pants on the floor. So I'm just going to work my way down. Whenever you hit the base of a piece of furniture, that's when you want to flip the rag. So this is obviously my dirty side. This is my clean side. So now I'm on the fourth side of my rag. After you wipe a piece of the table, you never want it to hit the floor. That's why I put the safety strap back on the top of the bed to let me know that I've wiped it and that it's clean. Okay, so I wiped the lights, the bed. Now I'm going to work on the furniture in this pattern so I don't forget anything that I've wiped. So I now have used 4 sides of this rag. Now I'm going to open it up, fold it in half, about the size of my palm. Now I have 4 new sides of the rag. It's important when you hit the base of a piece of furniture that you flip the rag. And with the OR table, because it doesn't make sense to go all the way around in multiple circles, that's why we wipe one side of the base, we flip the rag, and then we start on the edge and wipe the other side. So now I'm going to do the prep stand. So these have wheels, don't be afraid to roll it around. Outside, in, I'm going to hit every surface that may have been touched. When we go to the poles, you want to wrap your rag around the pole, and it's one motion. Don't go up and down, it's one motion. We go top to bottom. Outside in. Be sure not to put your rag on the floor as well as your knee. This piece of furniture is wiped. I'm going to put it back in its spot. Now I'm going to work on the mayo stand. Outside, in. Wrap your rag around the pole. One swipe down. When you hit these legs, make sure that your rag does not touch the floor. Move this back into position. Since I moved to another piece of furniture, I'm going to flip my rag. And we don't want to see any dry spots. We want to fully saturate these tables, and before we bring in our equipment, which is your next skill set, we want to make sure these surfaces are dry. But for now, we're still doing the turnover wipe down. Okay, last piece of furniture. Wipe the top, outside, in. And move this so you can see a little bit better. Notice my knees don't touch the ground. All 4 poles. Okay. Now that is how you do a turnover clean. And now, part of the skill set is a medical hand wash. So you won't be able to see me at the sink, but I'm going to show you the motions right here for the camera. So for your towel, you can just lay it over the scrub sinks or wherever we designate for the day. So when you remove your gloves, you want to pinch the palm and pull, and then ball it up into your hand, and take your hand that doesn't have a glove on, slide it under, and now both dirty gloves are inside one glove, and then you want to throw it in the trash. So when you go to the scrub sink, what you're going to do is you're going to wet your hands and grab the hand soap. You're going to work up a lather. You're going to interlock your fingers. You're going to do about 10 strokes back and forth. Then you're going to flip over your hand. Make sure that you're hitting this side of your hand. So you want to do 10 of these on each hand, about 10 times. And then you want to interlock your fingers so that you can get the backs of your hands that you missed, about 10 times. Then you want to take your thumb and you want to rub like this with soap 10 times each. Then you want to take your fingers and circulate on your palm to get underneath your nails 10 times. Then the last part is your wrist. You're gonna rotate your whisk just like that. So I'm gonna go do that at the scrub sink real quick. But all of this was skill set 1 that you will be required to test out of. So thank you for watching.